Hey guys, welcome back to the Mind Body broadcast with Austin and Marty. And today we're gonna dive into a pretty hot topic.
Ooh, baby.
Yeah, so we're gonna talk about, we're not disease experts, we're not CDC experts here, so we're not gonna talk about necessarily the whole virus and severity and this and that to a very big extent. But I think it would be good to talk about how it's impacting our industry as a
Yeah,
whole, like how it's impacting not only the competitions, our businesses, personal training businesses, gyms, and
yep,
not only that, but how it's going to impact them, moving forward
for
throughout
sure.
the rest of the year. If there'll be any like residual, like long term, anything. So I think it'd be kind of cool to dive into that. So I know you mentioned that your restrictions there in Canada were a little bit different than what we had here. So
Yeah.
what do they have going on?
So as of right now, there hasn't been anything new. I don't think since because what's today? Today's Monday. So as of this recording, it is the 23rd of March, and I believe it was last Tuesday. I want to say at 4 p.m. So 6 days ago, and a little bit more. That's when they put out the bigger protocols or the bigger. Let's call them protocols, that you were not allowed to have any form of public meeting with anyone more than 50 people or above. They had to be shut down and rescheduled. I know I was going to, of course, and I haven't shut up about this guy for a while. Gary V was supposed to come here and talk on the 24th, and that got shut down. Austin, I'm so fucking pissed, man. that's the number one thing. He was going to come talk in Edmonton here, and I was like, yes, finally, I've been paying attention to Gary V for the last 5 years, and no. So it says reschedule, but what's that mean? 2025?
Right. Yeah,
You
exactly.
watch Gary will get the virus, and I'll never get to see him or something, right? So, that's one of the bigger ones. All gyms were closed down right away, immediately, just due to that's what Canada felt was to do. No restaurants, I believe, over 40 or 50 people. I know that that affected a lot of businesses right now. My buddy today, that's in the carpentry, and he said pretty much that there. He said his quote from him was, "My industry is dead. Just you can't. They're not allowed to be building, be outside doing anything, or being inside building anything." And then also, even the gym I have on my third floor here in my condo is they're shutting it down. The whole third floor is like an amenities floor. There's like a shuffleboard, pool table, and so you're not allowed to go there. They locked it up. So that's kind of what's going on here.
Yeah, it's similar. We started with restaurants and bars.
Yep.
They're allowed to do carry out, which is still going on. So
Yep.
all the pizza delivery places are probably
Oh, boom! Now's when to invest, right?
yeah, they're probably doing fine. um, but that shut down. They started just slowly limiting things, and now we're basically here in Ohio. We're on lockdown now. It's not like a military enforced quarantine type of situation or anything, but it is. All businesses are basically closed at this point unless they're considered essential. And they sent out. There's a list. The list is actually pretty big. The list of essential businesses is pretty big. Um, so I mean, there's still a lot of people that are at work, but of course, they are limiting certain situations like the amount of people. All the events have been canceled for the
Right.
last several weeks. Um, and who knows when they'll open back up. But yeah, I know my wife's still at work because she's in healthcare. So they gave her a little badge that says essential. So if they want to, give her shit and pull her over or something, she's got her little her
Sure.
badge.
Okay.
But but they're still letting you go to grocery stores. And what's funny is that they've got all these people panicking and going to grocery stores, and there's like 500 people there at the same time,
Oh yeah.
packed in there, breathing on each other, yelling at each other, pushing each other. Like, oh yeah, you basically got a concert every day going on
Yeah.
at the grocery store.
Yeah.
So, so
It's funny you mentioned that because today my buddy's going to come over after we're done recording here, and we took a look outside. I'm like, you know what, the Safeway here looks pretty good today. Do you want to go? Because like I said, it was 6 or so days ago when did you guys have the toilet paper scare?
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah,
everyone.
like it was hilarious. I couldn't like it was really because Canada's never this fast. We're about 7 years behind everybody else. But I remember seeing on some of my American clients or American friends Facebooks about the toilet paper, and then not even 2 hours later, there's two people put up that were from my city here saying, "Well, oh, the toilet paper's gone, thanks." And I was like, "Woo!" Picked up my usual big sack of 48 rolls. I was like, "I'm good for a bit. I'll just use 2 squares instead of 3 now, and I'll be good." So. Yeah, so there you go. Exactly. Like there's people in that grocery store doing exactly that. And I was like, you know what? I think I've got enough food for it, but I'm going to wait for that because it's even funny to think about the people that are trying to stock up for, we'll say a quarantine, lockdown, whatever you'd like to call it. And then there they are, probably, like you said, at the worst possible time with, we'll call it Black Friday type grocery store activity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's it's bizarre. It's just of all things, I mean, of all things, toilet paper. Like I probably be more food now. Food items have gotten a little harder to get, like especially certain things. I mean, there's still a lot of stuff available in the stores, but the typical stuff
Okay.
people are having a hard time finding. Like I know a lot of clients have a hard time finding stuff like chicken, like all the chicken.
Okay.
All the
Yep.
chicken.
Actually, that's right. I was just talking to my client Allison, and she said the same thing, that a lot of any kind of fresh poultry, fresh meat is being scarce. Yeah. Did they put any kind of timeline on that, Austin, when things might be restocked up or?
So one thing that they did here, and
Okay.
I'm not positive because of course I don't pay that much attention because I'm already a master of social distancing.
Oh yeah, me and you both. Like this is probably 30% of my my talking in terms of actually to someone other than text is right now with us. So right. I'm with you.
So right. So I'm of course like I see the stuff on social media, and I keep hear whisperings and stuff. But of course, social media. I mean, there's like a ridiculously amount of false information.
Oh God.
Or exaggerated, but yeah. So one thing that they started doing was a lot of the 24-hour stores, they start closing them at night so they could restock.
It was getting that bad. Is it? You know what? There's a 7-Eleven right by my Safeway here for grocery sale. I'll go find that out and see if they're doing it too, because they're a 24-hour one as well. I wonder if it's getting that bad here. Wow.
Yeah, because they just couldn't. They just
can't handle the volume, eh? Like the shelves are kind of wiped clean. Wow.
Yeah. Now we're getting to the other side of it, like you said, where now some of the stores are starting to get empty because more people are actually in their in their homes. So now I'm sure I haven't had anyone, like I've had people update me today, and I talked to a couple people yesterday. They were like having issues, but last week was a disaster. And because it was right around, I think it was probably right around the beginning of last week when everything really ramped up.
Yes. It was Tuesday here, so that's perfect red timing. Yep.
Yeah, that's when things really started to ramp up. But of course, biggest thing, we're talking about our industry is just the gyms closing. Obviously, that's first and foremost. I mean, that's that's kind of critical. So I don't know what your situation's been like. I'm sure it's been somewhat similar, is that I've just been literally busting butt trying to make sure everyone has programs that are appropriate for their situation, whether they have a home gym or they have bands at home or they have a private place they go or whatever. It's just been crazy.
Yeah. And we should talk a little bit about that today too. There's lots of, and I mean lots. It's actually kind of neat, and that I'm seeing it. A lot of people posting their home workouts, and a lot of people putting them up. I know that strength coach Dan John. I'm pretty sure you even met him in person, didn't you, Dan John?
Doesn't sound familiar. I might have.
He's fantastic. Anyway, he put out his entire online at home programming template for free. I'll send it to you, Austin. It's fantastic. And he's got, there's lots of stuff there. And I've even helping out clients with that stuff. My buddy Brian made me aware of that one. There's like, I don't want to say it's going to separate the lazy, because I get it. Actually, I had one of my clients yesterday say that she can't work out at home in terms of it's not and I said, can't or won't, and it was more of a won't because she has children there. It's not a workout space or whatever. I'm like, this is not ideal for anybody. Like, do you think that I want to? You are the unicorn in all this, Austin. You have this gorgeous fucking barn gym where you're like, my life is now affected by 3%, which means I wipe jerk it down when she comes home from work. Like that's what's changed in your life right now. Is you give her some antibacterial wipes when you come home, and that's your life is now the same, right? Other than obviously the work stuff, but yeah, like I was saying, even the gym on my third floor I can't go to. So personally, it's been helping out my buddy Brian. He's going to get he bought some home gym stuff. Like there's another business to be in. Start selling pizza and home gym stuff and do it in one. Say Marty and Austin's home gym and pizza. Like we'll deliver the pizza and the gym gear to you for free, right?
Well, it's funny because now I had people that were, I was doing a lot of band programming, right? Get different resistance, like different sizes, right? So you can kind of work with it that way. But then I had some people doing dumbbells, and I was using like the power blocks and like
absolutely
flex ones and stuff. All that stuff sold out. It's all gone.
Yep, absolutely. I think Brian ordered one of the last pairs in Canada. I think paid a little bit too much for it, but there you go, right? Like I'm amazed that delivery on things like Foodora, DoorDash hasn't like gone to $30 per delivery, because that's just the way it's working, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's going to be obviously they're going to be in high demand. I was, and not to get off on too much of a tangent, but
I like your tangents though, so fuck it, go for it.
Well, I was recently, I would say, I don't know, last few months, I was kind of getting interested in stocks, stock market.
Sure.
And I was like, oh, they have a lot of online trading, like E-Trade and just different stuff like that. It's pretty easy. Like, oh, I'm going to kind of check it out and see what's good. And then everything crashed. So I've started putting shit in stocks too. It's like, it's super interesting to kind of see how the market fluctuates in accordance to what's doing well and what's not, because obviously like airlines, all the stocks are like a fraction of what they were, but other things are going to go way up because they're just booming right now because they're the only thing open. So it was kind of interesting to see that. And I don't know, 5-10 years ago, I probably wouldn't have really thought about it that much, but now that it kind of got me thinking like how that affects our industry.
Sure.
And, like not only right now, but, as the rest of the year, I'm really hoping by 2021, everything's, God, please, pretty normal. But
yeah, I'm giving it to them too. Like, because what's that, 7 months?
Yeah.
6, 7. Yeah. That's what it, and you know what? Not to, because I do want to talk about the stock stuff too, because especially where I'm from, I'm in mini Texas here in Alberta. But that's exactly it. Is that I remember asking a couple of the people that I trust with their opinion. I'm not going to Google and typing in what's the worst could happen. But we're looking at probably 4 weeks of something along this lines in terms of, we'll say, like what you said there in Ohio. I keep wanting to say Austin, but that's just your name. Say in Austin instead of Austin, Texas.
Right, Austin, Texas.
Yeah, and so you're looking at about 4 weeks of the lockdown there, and then I'm to an extreme. I'm thinking probably like. I want to say 2021 because they because it's just not known enough about it, right? And like again, and I love that you preface the whole friggin' thing, and I'll say it again, and we'll probably say it a couple more times here too, is that we are not virus, disease, infection experts. We're just not. But it's being able to just be prepared, right? Like there's the extremes on both, like as in nothing's going to happen to me, and they're the ones walking around naked outside and rubbing themselves on everything. Hopefully it's not me or you. And then there's the people that are taking every kind of precaution, whereas they're not even calling their family on the phone in case they get the disease, the virus through the phone, because that happens. So,
right.
but I think to prepare for that long-term stuff in terms of like, actually, I'll take back prepare and I'll say, be aware that it could be till 2021. And whether that's from, let's tie that back to our industry a little bit here, and whether that's you saying, okay, maybe I won't be doing a show this year. So I had on Friday one and on Saturday another one, that I had to talk to both of my girls and say, let's not look into this show. It's probably going to be canceled. And of course, I think talking to Felicity, the next day they postponed her May 28th show until October. And I said, perfect, there we go. So, and if anything too, like for especially, this is some really broad blanket advice for lots of competitors, especially your first time or your novice level or open level people, is this is great. All this means is you have more time to prepare. Of course, if you're a national level athlete, let's say they only hold, just like the Arnold, like that was the shittiest one of them all, I think, as if they would have canceled the Arnold Classic, and because now there's only like how many shots at that kind of title, right? So it just sucks. You got to wait another year. But putting your contest on hold from May until October, unless you've got some crazy summer plans, like as in, your best friend's getting married, or you've got like a 2-month retreat to Tahiti or something. Like there's just more time to do it. And like, yeah, it's to be like, it's one of those life advice things. Is like, you can either get mad about that, or you can realize, well, hey, this is affecting everybody, not just you. So, just you have more time to improve or anything like that, right? And especially because would you really, let's say this goes on, Austin, from March 23rd here until, let's even say April 23rd. Let's say this has got another full month from right now, and you've got a show at the end of May. You really want to only be back in the gym, hanging and banging, doing some really good intense workouts for 4 to 5 weeks, and that's it, and jump on stage? I don't think so. Like that's not going to be ideal, right?
Right.
So I know that there's one still here. I know you guys are a lot different in terms of their shows much more frequently than there are here, but I think the last leg of the shows I think there's one on June 30th. And so there's still quote unquote time, but we're just rolling with the punches. And like, that's the cool thing. And I know that you do this yourself with your clients. That's the cool thing about, we'll call it proper coaching, is you roll with the punches like this. If anyone says at 12 weeks we're doing this, at 8 weeks we're doing this, at 4 weeks we're doing this, no way, because you anticipated the virus coming. Screw off. Come on, coach, you did not know that. So what I'm saying is we're just 1 second here. It was like, we're kind of waiting, like as in if that June 30th show gets canceled, cool. Like you just be prepared for it to happen or to not happen. And then again, let's say it goes on for 8 weeks. You want to be 8 weeks outside of a gym, only doing band resistance training programs. Like that's just not going to cut it. What are we going to say there?
Well, what I was going to say is I saw a post today, and it was interesting to see like different opinions, but somebody said something about with all of the, with what's going on right now, a lot of people are putting out lots of information, right? These home workouts, this and that. And they said, what if this is, as the industry lags a little bit, what if this is to go on beyond the whole quarantine and virus and stuff? Will people stop using coaches because there's free information? I'm like, well, no, because
that's funny. That's funny. I even laughed even when you said that.
Right. I mean, because there's always been free information. Most of the good coaches are putting out free information.
Exactly. Yes.
And it's never going to replace a coach. It's just
individualized programming. No, of course not. Right.
Yeah, and that kind of brings me to the whole, like, well, what would happen, moving forward is, it's just good coaches, the people that are adaptable, the people that are always adaptable and able to use critical thinking skills and evolve and do all that stuff. They're going to continue to do that right now through this, so it's the people that are, the people that have 200 clients that hand out the same meal plan to every single person and same exact everything to every person, they're in big trouble.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to know what the hell to do.
No, I agree. I think that it's if anything for mine and your direct industry in terms of competition, in terms of other coaches, especially other online coaches, I think this is a great thing. This is going to show people if they know their salt or not.
Yeah,
if they're worth their salt, right? Exactly. So you can either adapt, like you said, and that's why this is a job to some people. This is a hobby to some people, or a side gig, side career. Or sorry, not a side career. This is either a job, a side job, or this is a career. Me and you were in that career thing. Like I just hit, as of last month, 12 years doing this. And just like, and the virus isn't going to wipe me out entirely, other than me and you are now getting into our barbells and pizza delivery service, which is going to be great, which, we might just quit fitness altogether and go with that if it stays on doing really good after this. But no, it's not going to put us out, because exactly there's too much, there's too much demand and too much need for it still. If anything, these are kind of the steps, and that'd be really cool if we went back and forth here and kind of talked about what you've been giving as general advice to people, and we kind of make a collective of that here right now. Is because people are like, well, what do I do now? I'm like, well, is nothing else really, like, other than minor modifications, just go about what you're doing. Like, what are your goals? Okay. And I even just had one of my friends, Kate, this morning say, would this be now a good time to kind of switch more to like a fat loss thing, like not aggressive, because she's unable to gain muscle and like kind of slow down on the eating. Like, exactly. If you break it down fundamentally to what we're doing, if you're overeating calories and you can't go bust your hump at the gym with those calories, you either better bring it back to maintenance, or you better bring it to a deficit, potentially lose fat right now. And that's exactly like you said, the critical thinking aspect that goes into that. And that's what I'm going to have a chat with a lot of my clients here today, because we kind of waited that out from the Tuesday until now. So it's been 6 days, and kind of be talking about that. Like, what would you like to do? Like, what is going on for the rest of your 2020? And I ask people that a lot in terms of like I just said, potentially maybe your best friend's getting married in the summertime. Well, let's talk about that. Okay, could you move your show to October? No. Could you move your photo shoot to next year? Is it going to be that big of a deal if we do that? So I started jotting down a whole bunch of things in a notepad as I was thinking about them, but especially like men especially, but it's still definitely human wide, we'll call it, is we thrive on routine. And right now, a lot of people have no routine, or their routine is completely frigging different now. Like now they're home, they potentially have kids in the home, or they don't. They have no structure to their life. And so I've been saying to people, make a damn structure, make a new one right now. Get yourself some sleep hygiene, get yourself a wake up time, because your body's going to need that. Because if your body doesn't do that and the brain is also confused, man, is that going to fuck some stuff up. Like if you usually go to bed, let's say at 10:30 on a weekday, and you get up for work at 7 o'clock, and now all of a sudden you're going to bed at 1 a.m. and waking up at 12 p.m. That's a shock enough to your body as it is, let alone your mental space too, because now you don't go to the gym when that's usually been a highlight or a big part of your day, and even structuring things around that. Now gym time comes around and your body's kind of going, why aren't we at the gym right now? So trying to normalize as much things as you can will not only be much easier on the brain, but it'll be much easier on the body as well.
Yeah, I agree. And that's kind of what I'm trying to accomplish with most of the people, is just, it's just that you need a routine, and it needs to be consistent. Because us as coaches, we still have to have something to measure, right? Like we still have to have some kind of data to use and updates. So, I mean, we need, not only for their sake, but also our sake, for it going to be able to help, we've got to have, it can't just be like, oh, just do some push-ups and, we have to have, something quantitative. We still need photos, still need all that stuff. So I'm just kind of trying to, I know I've transitioned a bunch of people. Like I still do have people that are prepping that their shows are really far out. So we're going to kind of play it by ear for now but if they start, pulling a bunch more shows out, then we'll probably call it a day. But yeah, other ones, unfortunately, I had one that got canceled a week out.
That sucks. Yeah.
I have two more that are prepping right now that had their show got canceled, but they're in a good enough spot where we can hold off and possibly do a later one. So, I mean, you just have to kind of figure out the situation and make the best call. But I don't think, at least I hope, that I don't think it's gonna impact the good coaches a whole lot.
Nope.
In the grand scheme of things. And you're gonna run into the inevitable situation where you may have a client that is without income. That can happen.
Yeah, of course.
Now, I will say so far, it hasn't been the vast majority of my clients, simply because, this is a luxury service. I'm not, call me whatever you want, call Marty whatever you want, but a good to great coach is not the cheapest service either. So, I mean, you're not running into a lot of people that are waitresses and things like that, So, I mean, more financially stable people. But I mean, I did have a lady that she had a dance studio. They had to close down. It was considered a fitness facility, and they had to close down. And
oh, no way. Okay. That sucks. Even if it was smaller than the whatever. Okay.
It's just, that was the rule. So, I had to work with her on that. And, and that's, unfortunately, that's rough. Kind of the reality. Rough. But I mean, just as a whole, I don't think it's going to be extremely catastrophic. Now, what's interesting though, is that I kind of wonder, I would be interested to talk to somebody like an MPC or something right now that's higher up, like what their thought process is right now.
Yeah. Well, because that's going to be financially hammering them too. If they don't get entry fees, they don't get shows going on, right?
Yeah. And we don't really know. We can speculate, but we have really know like what the financial status.
Oh God, no. I've got no idea. That's right.
Yeah, right. No clue, to be honest. So that'll be interesting. And it can go a couple different ways. I mean, it could mean that shows from the, in the second half of the year, assuming they're all going on, will just be much better than they normally.
Yeah, they'll be a hell of a lot more competitive, and probably not necessarily double the numbers, but definitely up for sure.
I mean, so I think that's a likely possibility. I think that probably will happen to some extent. Now, obviously, like the people that started prepping in December or January or something they're not going to be doing shows probably like October or anything.
Mm.
Most likely, unless they just had a year's worth of body fat to lose.
Hey, who are you talking about here? Me?
But it happens, it happens. But like the client that long-term client that you've been working with for a while that has a good starting spot in prep and all that, like that person's kind of screwed because they're not going to be prepping for 10 months.
No,
it's just it's not feasible. So, but yeah, I think the second half of the year could end up being pretty good. It's going to be interesting though, because then in the amateur scene, it's a little less problematic because let's say a national show might get pulled, but
sure.
What about in the pro? The pro scene is going to be.
I didn't even think about that yet, Austin. Exactly. Wow. Okay.
So what if we're talking about
Olympia, New York Pro, yeah. Qualifying shows. That's right. Yeah, because what if your qualifying show was going to be between now and July?
They're going to have to.
Okay.
They'll have to revamp the system because before they had if you win a show, you're in, right? So we knew that, but also the
point system, isn't there? Yeah, that's right. There's a point system.
I would think that it would have to be revamped to some extent simply because there's just a lot less opportunity to
screw it. Everyone's allowed to compete. Everyone's in the Olympia. That's it. You can just go. Yeah.
What if they did an invite? What if they did like an invite only Olympia?
Yeah, but by previous years accolades or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
I'll be very curious now that you've got that in my head to find out what that's going to be, because exactly what are you going to do about that? Even going on your topic there. So some of these people that were going to do either their first show, because it depends upon where they were. A lot of them, and that will be a lot of my chats today here after this with them, will be, listen, there are more shows, and this is some of the advice I've always given to people, especially if, let's say, a loved one gets sick, or if they break a bone, or if they lose their job, or something happens and they can't compete on their regular scheduled show that's coming up. I say, listen, there's always more shows. There's always going to be more shows, and like as I said, there's just more time to prepare. But if it is like I just referenced the client I had there that had a show at the end of May that was just canceled. And I think that would have been 7 weeks from now or something like that. But a lot of them, I'm going to say, listen, here's your two options. And literally, I mean that. Two options is you keep pushing for this show if you can. And pushing, of course, means dieting, trying to do as much as you can for your prep. Or you shift gears and we back off for a bit now, do some kind of diet break or whatever the heck we strategize about, depending upon the show, and push for that one. And that's it. Like, there's your two options. And or of course potentially just go into an off-season mode potentially and find out what you want to do from there. And so it's just giving people like ideas in their head, because there are options. But yeah, like especially for the bigger shows like that, that's going to be something very critical for them to think about, right? What are they going to be like the point system going to do?
There's going to be a lot of new precedents set, a lot of new things going on this year. This is you'll enjoy this. This is very appropriate. Somebody sent me a meme that said, and I posted this in my story the other day. It said, January 1st, 2020 is going to be my year. It's like a dialogue, right?
Yep.
Then it says, March 18th, wiping my ass with a coffee filter.
Absolutely. Yep. Oh man. What, that wasn't part of his year? That wasn't part of the
Yeah, that probably wasn't in the plan, especially 3 months in.
Oh my God. Yeah. Well, just like that of course I did have to laugh really, really hard about the toilet paper. And then I remember driving with my friend to go pick up a package at the post office from her. And of course I was next to a drug mart. I don't think you guys have Shoppers Drug Mart there. It's just one of the local brands here. And there was 3 people outside waiting to get on the bus, all with toilet paper. And they were holding it like it was their firstborn. Like, just clutching it like, stay away from
fights. I mean, there was like fighting, legitimate like fights.
Oh man, I gotta go on YouTube and look for that shit, Austin, because it does make me happy sometimes when I'm just hanging out. But like, you know what? Toilet paper fights 2020.
Yeah,
type it in. Google have it all.
You worry about the combined IQ in the grocery store, but at the same time, makes you feel a little better about yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like either that or you know what? Just start standing on. That's it. Both of our businesses are going to go down. We're going to stand on the corner, $5 a roll, and just have them vacuum sealed, or have it be like antivirus wipes or something.
Well,
And just
no
stand on the
joke.
corner, Austin, and just friggin' sell them, man.
No joke. I don't know if there was anything going on up there, but they were arresting people here for basically like hoarding TP and selling it.
I was going to say bootlegging TP.
Yeah, that's what they were doing.
I was just about to say we need to bootleg TP, and here you are telling me people are getting arrested for it. Oh, that's good. I'm crying right now.
I don't know, because the U.S. is kind of more of a capitalist, type of government. So I'm thinking, fuck, these people are just good business, But
I can see something. I can see something from the White House, like Trump's giving a speech, and all of a sudden, from behind the curtain, like 500 rolls of toilet paper fall down. He goes, "Oh, there's nothing to see here. We're not hoarding this."
Right. I guess there's some kind of clause in there that says during a state of emergency that you can't hoard goods and sell them. Basically, I guess. So
and that because that's not capitalism.
No.
I don't even know what you'd call that. Assholism.
Yeah, that's just like taking advantage of panic. And
yeah, exactly. It is like I completely understand why people have a full-time job, and I mean this. I knew a couple of them full-time job that used to do reselling tickets, like concert tickets, right? Like what's the technical term for those guys? Scalpers, right? Like yeah. I get that because like that's not harming an industry as a whole. That if you don't go to this concert, you might die or you might become unsanitary because you got nothing to wipe your ass with. But
right.
Oh man, like. Yeah. Attention, anyone in my family listening to this. If I find out that you are hoarding TP and you are selling it, be prepared to, that's it. You're getting exonerated from my family. Like, that's just hilarious. I can't believe that.
There's, okay, so another one. Here's another kind of topic was, and I'm sure this will change too, but with a lot of the gyms being closed, and we were talking about the people doing the home workouts and stuff. So I don't know if you saw it, but John Meadows actually came and trained with me the other day at my house.
No shit. No, I didn't see that. Okay, cool. What'd you guys do?
The barn gym. But what we were talking about, and the reason I bring it up is because he's doing like more of the YouTube stuff. And
yes, I have seen that. I haven't watched any of them yet, but I love that guy, man. He just keeps pumping out great shit all the time. I'm really happy he's still doing it.
Yeah, he's been kind of he's not kinda. He's definitely been working. He's working hard at the YouTube game and talking about that a little bit. And it was just because we talked about the stock market, right? We talked about how it got affected. Well, he said that certain content, like the people weren't as interested in some of the gym videos and stuff. He had one that got posted around when the gyms closed, and
no views.
Oh, yep. And it was with another big YouTube.
See, and that doesn't shock me at all. As much as you would think, because not to steal all the thunder here, but I know for a fact that like people, and this is one of the best pieces of advice I was told when I was getting into coaching or two, is that don't post for other coaches. You know what I mean? Not that we don't. Like if we only put up studies that only me and you were going to read, that's not going to get us clients. It's not going to help out our clients. You got to put out shit that they need right now. And that's so dramatic to see that. What would you say? Like a day or two after the gym's closed, he posted that?
Yeah, and it was literally this person that he was collabing with.
Yeah, and then they were a big name. They had followers.
Yeah, they would regularly get like 500,000 views, and it only got 5,000 something.
Oh, see, come on now. So like literally 100 or 100 times down viewers, like that's how much it can pivot, and that's why it is like. And I know this is not a podcast to give advices to give other coaches. I sound like Arnold. I give out the best advices to give out advices to other coaches here, but like you have to pivot right now. If all you're going to do is you have 3 months worth of videos, like let's say John's probably got more in his tank than we've got storage in terms of videos of him either training with other people, him training himself. And if you keep putting those out in gym stuff, you are going to get flatlined because no one's going to watch that right now. Save that for when it's applicable again though, right? And so then I bet you as soon as he puts out, if he hasn't already, some kind of home gym or a better advice, what's going to happen? Poof, it's going to take off. And that's why too, We both talked about this beforehand, said me and you are really terrible at this. We don't do a lot of clickbait stuff in terms of virus outbreak, learn how to cure it here. And before you know, it's just me and you talking about our girlfriends. It's like, okay, thank you.
Yeah. And
I like that we don't do that, but however, I think that this was like that. I'm glad you're bringing up that stuff about John and things like that, is that even showing that, talk about it, but don't be retarded. And I love that. Still, again, here's the third time we're going to talk about it. We are not experts on this stuff. We are giving you all of our educated opinions upon what we would do based upon health, fitness, exercise. Like I think I even posted that on Facebook. I'm saying, don't even call it fitness. Don't even call it health. Just call it being active. It's like, that's something that's like, especially if you go from being highly active to non-active at all, that's a big shock to the system too. Like I just talked about in terms of it being a part of your routine that you're not doing now, is that keep yourself sane with that too. Like that's why we call this the mind body broadcast, is because if the mind isn't happy, the body isn't. If the body isn't happy, the mind isn't. So you got to do what you can right now. And that's probably the best pieces of advice that we can give. And so what's John's going to be doing here forward going with his YouTube, whatever? He's going to just do some more stuff about the home workouts or what?
Yeah, I know he posted some home workout stuff, and he posted just like some more nutrition type stuff.
Exactly.
And just kind of something not as training related. But again, I thought that was just an interesting example. But again, it's not. Again, like people that are doing well and people that are good coaches, and they're not going to be crushed because they're already multidimensional. Like they already are able to adapt and service their clients well and this and that. But there are some people I know right now, you know who Skip Hill is, Ken Hill.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find here right now because I think you'd appreciate this too, because it goes really into what I've been asked a couple times. Side note, I love those people too. I've been asked a whole bunch about. No, you've been asked once, and actually it wasn't even you being asked. You saw on someone else's wall, posted on another coach's wall, hey, what do I do about? And now you're telling me and everyone else. No, I'm just saying in general when people say like, because I just said I had two people ask, like, yes, it actually was two people, as opposed to people will say, oh, a whole bunch of people have asked me. No, you
right. Yeah. You're like,
didn't you love that? Like Austin, I will say you, because I've seen your Q&As, I've seen our Q&As, like when you say, hey, send me some questions, and then you have them, well, they're there because they're in the messages or they're in the email or in the Instagram chat, but people are like, well, I get asked hundreds of questions a day. Do you really? Hundreds?
No,
Can I see those? I want to see those. If I get 100 questions a year now, I'm doing great.
or if they have, or if they say like, I've done this with hundreds of clients.
Oh, fuck off! That one doesn't mean Oh, man, I saw the other day too. It was like, I think it was Gary Vee or someone, like he gets fired up, and it's just like me and you. We talk here sometimes too, but then he's like, "What the hell does a 23-year-old life coach having been a life coach? You have done no life yet." It's
right.
It's exactly. I've hundreds of people. I'm like, there's hundreds of people. You were 19 and just got your job 6 months ago. You've had over 100 clients. Good for you. So this was just posted too. This is what I want to talk about, is that if you are starting to think, or you actually are already starting about stocking up on health supplements and vitamins and everything else, be very, very buyer beware. Because I don't know if you saw this, but there was some woman, I believe she was here in Canada, and she made this tweet, and of course, because she fell victim, of course, who is she? A journalist, so knows nothing about fitness and nutrition, fantastic, and she was called out on it. It says, breaking news, new controlled clinical study conducted by doctors in France shows that hydroxychloroquine cures 100% of coronavirus patients in 6 days of treatment.
Right, yeah.
And have you heard of this one yet?
Yeah, and I saw some people pretty pissed off about it.
That's what I mean. And so she completely retracted her statement and said, yeah, if you throw frigging, like me and you are both dying from this virus and it has a six-day really badness time frame. I mean, you take friggin', I don't know, you pick at HCG, and now me and you are cured because of HCG. Get the fuck out of here. So that's the biggest one I knew, because I was reading that this morning, and I'm glad we're talking about it. Because there will be a little bit of a Dr. Oz effect going forward. And I think it's only going to potentially get worse. And what I mean by that is that, let's say we're 2 weeks in. Then we're 3 weeks in. Then we're 6 weeks in. People are going to be like, what can I do to make this end now? Or potentially, what can I do to go outside and bubble wrap in a snowsuit? In other words, can I take something to make me now immune to this?
Well,
And as I believe sorry, go ahead.
I'd say it's emotional appeal, right?
Oh, for sure.
They're
It's
appealing to
sexy.
emotions.
It's sexy, right?
Yeah. They're taking advantage of people because people are panicking and they're emotional and they're just,
we can come back to that on the stock market there too. So I'll mention the best piece of advice that I was ever given about the stock market period. But it's that, like, when I think and this is completely speculation with mildly educated, I won't say highly educated opinion on this, is that we're looking at about a year-ish out from a vaccine, if there is one. And like, so I don't want to say a minimum of 12 months, but let's go with that anyways. And because, like, you have to think about how hard we have worked in terms of modern science to come up with the vaccines that we have had in terms of pick anything, right? Is that so? To be banking on that being the one thing, and then all of a sudden now you potentially losing your mind, even though I just said it's a year out, and you go, it's a year, oh my God, we're going to be dead before a year. It's like, okay, well, and then of course people are going to be looking to alternative healing things, like when people really jumped on the naturopathic side of things to try and cure cancer, and let's see how well that all panned out. Come at me, bro, if you don't think that was really kind of what's going on when people are trying to, use THC oil to cure their cancer. And it's like all of a sudden people are getting off dialysis and getting off leukemia treatments and things to do natural stuff. It's like, no, if you want to use that as a boosting technique, go for it. So until you go on any of your favorite websites or Amazon and buy a whole bunch of health vitamins, really make sure that you have enough money to buy food that you can eat, which is going to help your immune system better than most of these crap supplements anyways. But really, really take your time to either ask someone like Austin or myself or other educated people that are hanging and banging in that scene and aren't just people that are pushing like a journalist on Twitter saying, here is what's going to cure you 100%, to like not even a week after the most seriousness of the virus has come out. Come on now, give me a break. And I know that does, and I say that maybe a little bit too aggressively because maybe it is someone that maybe that this journalist that I just talked about that just tweeted that obviously on Twitter, says this, and you're a friend of her, and you go, oh, okay, and before you know it, you've got 16 bottles of this supplement coming, is just slow it down. And I know that's hard because there is panic, because you have loved ones, because you have a show coming up, because you have, well, you name it, is just, just really try not to buy into that too, because they're just like we talked about the whole toilet paper bootleggers, which is so funny to me thinking, I can't believe that's a thing. That's fantastic. But the fact that, right, like I literally just envisioned me and you really quick, because I got a very good imagination. I love being a kid. It was me and you standing on the sidewalk being like, got your toilet paper here? Toilet paper, $5 a roll here? Yeah. Single ply? Yeah. And now I'm picturing people going in stealing like toilet paper from the quickie marts and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, it's probably going to happen. Probably don't even put toilet paper in there. Probably give you 5 squares before you go in, and that's it. Yeah. And then, go ahead.
Well, you mentioned the supplement thing.
Yep. So so for the investment thing, really quickly, is that the best piece of advice I ever got was to obviously not sell when it's low, and obviously not buy when it's high. And I remember I have a meeting with my buddy Don Sterling, probably before I even started training and coaching, so probably 13 years ago. I said, I have no idea how RRSPs, investments, taxes, anything works. Can you explain this to me? And I think I bought him 2 or 3 suppers, and he just talked, because he was a guy that was been washed up and through the ringer. And he said, I know I'm going to do this again, and hopefully you'll help me out when I do this, is please don't let me sell when stocks are low, and please don't let me buy when stocks are high. So like you said, like with the airlines and stuff and how they're so low right now, really, because planes are going to be gone. We're never going to air travel anywhere ever again in the entire existence of humanity until we're blown up because of either climate change or whatever. Get out of here. Right. And I was going to mention that too, and I'm glad we came back to it, was in Alberta here, I think oil literally went down to $10 a barrel, or is heading that way, and so usually in Canada we're looking at 50 to 60, and right before the crash was in 2007 and 8, it was at 100. So that's outrageous. Like, I know gas, I know you guys go by, I think per gallon or whatever, I think per liter here we're usually floating around anywhere between 90 and $1, 90 cents to $1 per liter. And right now, it was, the last time I saw it was 69.9 overnight. That's whopping. So what I'm saying is, like, is like, and it's, of course it's never stayed that way, but it's just like, it's cool. Like, and we should talk about that later on too. So I'm fascinated with your opinions on that, is for the stock market and things like that. Like what do you think is going to happen? What would even John think? Because John would know a little bit about that stuff too. But it's just, but
Yeah, I
definitely don't lose your mind over, of like, if you want to buy into pick a United Airlines, like, the ones up here are WestJet and Air Canada. Like, if I had if I hadn't already done some stuff with my money for my mortgage and stuff here, I would have definitely jumped into that, because that it's going to come back. Oil will come back. I even talked to my investment guy here last night. I sent him a text, said, "Hey man, what do we do?" He goes, "Right now," he goes, we're not selling anything." I said, "Okay, cool."
Yeah, I mean, personally, like I said, I'm new at it, but that whole idea of buying low, it makes sense. I mean, that seems
Of course.
like an easy concept. So that's, and of course, there was like something like, oh yeah, I want to do it, da 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 da, and then I had, and then I'm like, oh well, this is the perfect opportunity.
No shit.
because,
Yeah.
because also for me, I wasn't losing anything because I didn't have a lot of prior investment.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So
that's perfect then, right? There you go.
Like literally, it was the perfect time. And but yeah, I mean, there's people that have been investing for a long period of time, or have like large amounts of money in 401ks and things like that. They're, in their late 50s or 60s or whatever, just whatever age they are. Yeah, I mean, they lost, some of them losing hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's,
wow.
and they can't bail out, because you don't want to take that much of a loss, but you just have to stay in and wait it out. But the crappy thing for those types of people is, they might have been close to retirement. Now they have to work for another 5 years.
Yeah, and that does frigging suck. Yeah.
They're gonna have to work for another 3, 4, 5 years, or however long it takes to get that amount of money back, and it's really unfortunate. But for younger investors, as long as you aren't overextending yourself with money, obviously, it's a great time.
Oh yeah.
Buy anything that's going to come back, like you said. Anything that's down, airlines, anything big, any big company that's down right now is going to come back, because for one, the demand will come back, and secondly, a lot of those companies get bailed out anyways.
Yes.
By the government. So
yeah. I remember when there was the big crash here after 2000. I think it was 2010 was when it was right around here. GM, General Motors, or GMC, General Motors Canada, they went under, right? This is Chevy, this is GM trucks, everything else went under, and then the government paid them back and said, no. We know that you guys aren't sucking. This is just what the world is saying right now. Of course, where's GM now? Doing freaking great, right? Yeah. So you're exactly correct on that one. And by no means, again, let's preface this as well, Austin and Marty are not investment experts. However, there is some general stuff that I wish I had known too, like as in, even from when I saw and talked to Jesse, my investment guy. Hi, Jesse. He said about the $10 a barrel of oil. And he said, no, just wait it out, because a lot of my stocks are predominantly in the natural resources fund, and he just knows when to play around with them, because he takes care of all that crap for me. And I just, of course, ask him, say, hey, how's things going with my money? How's things not? And just keep educated, because I think it's funny. It's a good topic of conversation, right? But, and then for times like now, when I see, all of a sudden I know that it's around $50 or $60 a barrel, and all of a sudden I see 10, I'm like, well, how is this affecting me?
Portfolio.
And he said that too. He goes, listen, let's put you in a, because I think I got this, as I am 34, and I would have signed up with Jesse when I was 25. And he said, listen, do you need to see this money right now? I said, no. So I went very aggressive in terms of like what he was allowed to do with my money, in terms of his experience and everything else. And so far, it's been nothing but thumbs up, like in terms of when oil went up and went down, gas went up, went down. He's played around with it correctly. He's like, listen, if you do look at your reports, you're going to see about X amount of money go this way this year. And he goes, probably it's going to be about 2 times X in this year. And so there it was, right? So but yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting ride for the next tiny bit, just to see what happens to everything. Like, as in, I don't know how much goods we import from China and everything else like that, but like the toilet paper thing was funny. Like you talked about meat not being restocked all the time, that. But yeah, as I just talked to my buddy there today about how his industry in the carpentry world is crashing. So there's going to be lots of interesting stuff going on, but. And this is a perfect segue into what could you do, is just, not freak out. I know that sounds like, especially for all you, what's the word I'm looking for? Hypochondriac people out there. That's going to be fucking hard. It's going to be hard. Like, for instance, my mom, hi mom, is messaging me literally every 12 hours saying, "How are you alive? How are you alive? How are you alive?" and you know what? I'll wait 20 minutes. No, I'm just kidding. I don't do that. And I say, "Yes, mom, I'm alive. What are you watching on Netflix? Just see how she's doing." Right. Yeah. But because that was how she grew up. Whereas I don't want to say I'm a polar opposite to her in terms of being hypochondriac. Of course, I'm health conscious because look at our industry, right? But I don't have the sympathy. Sorry, not the. I don't have the exact empathy to know what it's like to be a hypochondriac because I'm not there. But just that is, if I can give any advice upon that, is just be preventative, like we're talking about. Because the most hilarious thing about this is right now is why on earth does the coronavirus or COVID or Corvid or Corona Void 1973 is how is that affecting your nutrition other than potentially what you actually have on hand for food? Like, do you know what I mean? Like all of a sudden now everything's gone to shit. Now you're eating sour cherry blasters in your milk for instead of cereal in the morning. Like, come on now.
Right.
So, and that's how I said that. This is going to show how coaches are worth their salt. This is going to show how, I'll say clients, but show how active health conscious people are worth their salt. Like, are you all talk or are you doing this because this is the lifestyle thing or were you doing it just for a show? So that's something to really kind of, look in the mirror and stare at yourself and think about what the meaning of life is to you and like that. How's the hypochondriac side on your family?
I'm good so far. I don't have that, but I do know I have definitely heard some of it from clients or just a couple of the people that come over and train and stuff. And they're just like one guy in particular said his mom's like that, calls him like every 30 minutes. And but yeah, I mean that's a kind of a good little tip there is people ask, so how can I boost my immune function? Stress greatly reduces immune function. So there you go.
Oh, massively. If I can tell you out of anything that like we can't directly measure, like as in we can't directly measure your dopamine or your serotonin in your body, but like of course you can measure cortisol or whatever, but the most stressed out MFers I know in my life are the ones that get this most sick, and it's always when they are the most stressed, regardless if it is you are losing your job or you are freaking out if you're going to get the virus, or if you're worried that the mind-body broadcast hasn't been out for a bit and they're gone away, like that's going to make you more sick. Right? And 100%, like that. I'm very happy you said that.
I actually sent a study to someone that, because some people, they need like quantitative, like something in front of them, right? They have to see it. So
yes.
There was literally right on PubMed study.
Yeah. What was it?
How stress reduces, leukocyte function, which leukocytes are just white blood cells. So I mean, that's
like, come on, what more hard evidence do you need than that?
Well, and it's not just that. It's, you brought up the point about routine earlier too. That's part of it. The more normal, quote unquote, normal you can your life, the better off you're going to be.
Of course, whatever your normal is, right? Like, and for me, I was actually kind of shitting the bed, of course, only figuratively because I need toilet paper right now. But on kind of a Wednesday and a Thursday last week, it's staying up a little bit too late because I had to, of course, watch. I forget what it was. Some goddamn Netflix special called The Tiger King. Oh my God.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard about it.
The most hilarious, ludicrous shit I have seen. My jaw was open. I'm pretty sure I had to put water in my mouth because I couldn't shut it to keep my saliva glands going. I didn't know to laugh or just think this was I don't know. Anyways, regardless, that screwed up my sleep routine. And guess what? Like I feel myself being a little bit run down and worn down. That was 2 days. Right. So yeah, you get the sleep out there. Like I've got a post coming out about that right away here, but you get the sleep nailed down. Just keep what you can, because especially if you are now routineless, like my buddy I was talking to you about, that's the carpenter, who he wakes up usually at before the sun comes up and works until the sun goes down, depending upon the weather. Now that's off. Like I even thought back to my father, who my father used to do shift work from 1:30 in the morning until 1 in the afternoon. And like, of course, he's retired now because he's old enough and they're hanging out and having fun. Him and mom are doing good in Nova Scotia. But if he were to do that and all of a sudden that was stopped, like I think he would go stir crazy. Yeah. So you're going to have to do something, right? Like, let's say, for instance, and this is just me being uneducated about it. If you have wood in your basement, all of a sudden make a chair, make a table, do something. You know what I mean? Like, especially for, it directly translates over to us is if you don't have workout stuff, uh, like if you have literally no gym equipment and you're a guy and you're like, well, I'm not going to do band stuff because that's sissy or whatever. Okay, then do abs, dick. Like, you know what I mean?
Or just bitch and moan about how you didn't maintain any of your muscle. That's your own damn fault.
Yeah, because obviously, talking makes you gain muscle and lose. But oh my god! So thank God I haven't had to have any of those chats yet. And I hope but it's it's I love it, and I will use the term normal as well too. Just make your normal as close to your normal. Like if that can only be 60%, cool. If you can make it 65, even better. But stressing, freaking out, listening to conspiracy theorists, podcasts, books, whatever, that is the exact opposite of what anybody should be doing at this moment. It's one thing to be prepared. It's one thing to go off the deep end and not know if there's rocks where you're diving.
Yeah, exactly. So, I think one last thing is just about our industry, and we've talked about this before, is that when is the everyone is a coach going to peak? And I bet you this is it.
Oh, buddy, I think this is it right now. If all you've got is shit flash in the pan marketing and all you've got is a gym-based workout program, ooh, this is going to be good.
Yep. You know what? This could be where it peaks and we see a lot of the gimmicks start falling off. Maybe not, but I could only imagine that it'll certainly thin it out a little bit.
I just hope that these gimmickers or snake oil salesmen, whatever you want to call them, I really hope they don't jump on to the next one and go, well, shit, the workout thing didn't work out. How about this? Whatever. I mean, my phone's gone. I was only looking it up then because I don't pay attention to you, and I'd rather look in your eyes when we're talking than anything else. That hydrochloroquine, whatever it is. Yeah. I hope they don't start selling that now. Because
they probably will do something else gimmicky, but at least at least a lot of the real cookie cutter coaches, I think that'll probably be very impacted by this situation. Maybe that'll thin some of those out.
You know what? I think that's perfect to say too. Is so here's what to do as the scrupulous or concerned consumer is, if you know someone such as whoever, Captain Flash in the Pan, Captain Snake Oils guys, you're like, oh, I didn't know you were into fitness and you're selling workouts. If within another couple days, all of a sudden they're selling a supplement, I think that's when to go and not take a look at that. Right. Yeah, to take a look at that and go, okay, buyer beware. This isn't it. Anyone that moves around for this stuff too. It's just showing their expertise is not there. And that is flat out taking advantage of people. And I know that it's of course my stress level is going to raise when I see it. It's just something I've always gotten pissed off about because I've always hated going way back to when I was reading Muscle Tech ads when I was convinced that Jay Cutler and Ronnie Coleman only took Cell Tech and Nitrotech and that's all I fucking needed to be them. It's just I've always had a little bit of a complex about that stuff. Is that if I see that stuff, I got to stop looking at it because it does rile me up too much. But yeah, it's that's the only one I'll mention right now is that one supplement is just, stay away from people like that. Really do pay attention to who you are listening to. And then, do what you can for fit. What else would you like to wrap up with? You're do what you can for fitness. Even my buddy, Brian, of course, Brian Cron, one of the other best fitness professionals I know in the industry. He said, here's what to do. And so follow him on Facebook, ladies and gentlemen. Just type in Brian Cron with a Krahn on Facebook. He put up I think 5 things that are saying here's what to do. He said so do cardio then. Do an hour of cardio. Even he goes, well, what if I'm not supposed to do cardio? Cardio is catabolic. Okay, it's exercise. At least you're doing goddamn something. When dogs aren't taken out to have a run, they start to go crazy. And we're quite a bit like that too. It does something for the brain.
Yeah, I certainly don't think the fuck it all mentality.
No, of course not. No. I call myself a recovering absolutist, but of course, over the years go on, I listen to some people that are the all or nothing people. I'm like, whoa, okay, I don't think I was quite like that. But yeah, as in, if now you're perfect example, if your show's no cancel, now you are not doing anything. Come on now, does that show real interest or whatever you want to call it? But yeah, that can't happen. It just can't, or else here let's say those people. The same person had their show canceled. Now they're saying, screw it, I can't do it anymore. Now you're starting to eat worse or whatever, and you're worried that you potentially might have a little bit of hypochondriac in you too. Well, now you are raising your potential chance, if there is one, for you to catch some kind of virus or disease, which is now completely counterintuitive. So there you go. So now your stress is raised. You don't have the nutritional backup and whatever else.
I agree. I agree. So
Bam.
routine, best you can.
Yeah, you got it. Um, I was gonna say there too. So, like, if for you, especially for you guys there, what are you recommending if the meat poultry is kind of down? Are you recommending just like eating more protein powder? Are you recommend like what's going on? More canned stuff? What are
It
you
seems,
recommending to clients?
it seems like it depends on the place,
For sure. Yep.
the region. But yeah, I just have them resort to stuff that's like fish if they like fish.
Mm-hmm.
There seems to be a lot of fish in the store, so that's an
Oh,
option.
good. Okay, I didn't know that. Good. Okay.
We can go right to that. Of course, canned items. Yeah, it's not necessarily ideal, but there's a million different options. Canned chicken and fish, especially. And if you want to, you can even try out. I'm going to try out like every single flavor of the Starkist tuna creations flavor.
Okay, I haven't heard of this. Starkist.
It's just like they just make like garlic flavors, spicy flavor. They got all
Okay, cool. Yeah.
so I'm like, yeah, well, I'll
God
try
damn, you
every
guys have got so many options for that crap. I love it. That's
yeah,
great.
I'll try every one of them. But
Yeah. There you go. I want to see a Instagram live channel started up called Austin Tastes This Shit. I just want to see you opening it up. And I'm like, oh my God, don't go with the garlic. Oh.
Austin gets mercury poisoning during lockdown.
Yeah. Austin Stout dead. Nope, not the virus. Mercury poisoning.
Yeah, that's funny. But also one that people aren't considering, I don't know what your options are there, but meal prep companies are hammering it out right now.
Oh, for sure. Yep. My girl is on top of me every week saying, hey, I'm still doing this, blah, blah, let me know. And so, yeah, especially if you are worried and you do have a little bit of extra capital, wonderful idea.
Yeah, it could even be things like bulk meats. Some of the meal prep companies deliver bulk chickens and fish and steak and whatever. So and I'm getting emails about that stuff, like just like ads and things like that.
Oh, are you? I would step up my email marketing if I was them too, twice daily. Yep.
So that heck, we even have the one called the chicken pound here. I don't know if you heard of that one.
Okay, no, I haven't.
They just sell different types of chicken by the pound. That's what they sell. So
the chicken pound.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a bunch of options. So meal prep companies is good. Just look and see what's in the store. I mean, I don't. This is where people that are already versed in some flexible dieting are not going to have any issue whatsoever.
That's right.
Eat something different.
Yeah.
It's not really that big of a deal. But yeah, protein powders are obviously non-perishable for years at a time, and that's a good option. Like I said, fish seems to be okay. Also, local butchers, if you have anything like that.
Yeah. Okay. Didn't think about that yet. You know what? I'll have to take a look at some of mine here. Yep. I know we've got at least a couple downtown here.
Yeah. So if there's any local butchers or stores that sell, or even like, I don't have any of it. Right. There is a place around me that actually they have it's a butcher. So I mean, it's mostly beef and pork, but any cultural food store, like ethnic type food store that sells a lot of stuff, go check that out. Something like
that's
that.
A damn good idea, man. Really good. Yep.
So I mean, if you're in a larger area like your area, you probably have stuff like that.
Oh, for sure. Like downtown here, like I am gonna go jump on not only Google Maps but iPhone Maps and just take a look around and just start calling places. Hey, are you open? And then start saying to people, hey, by the way, the following people are open, the following people are closed, and then give that information out. Why not?
Right. So stuff like that. If you're in a more populated area that has a lot of stores options, they're still open because they are groceries. So
yes,
you're good to go. I mean, there's plenty of options.
Yeah,
there
is for sure. It's just, you know what? Oh no, it's going to be a little bit more effort, but oh no, you probably have a little bit more time off of work now instead of people like your wife. So there you go.
And it's not like there's always some kind of silver lining. I mean, it gives you a chance to diversify a little bit. You might find some stuff you like.
You might start investing in Sunburst or Sunkist now.
Yes.
After you try out all those foods.
I think it's shit. Well, did I say sun? It's not Sunkist. Why am I?
I know. I was just thinking about what's like Starburst.
Starkist.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why I was saying it wrong. I just had the Korean barbecue flavor this morning.
And verdict?
Oh, it tastes like Korean barbecue. It was fantastic.
Well, then there we go. I'm jumping on the stocks right now and buying some before we're done.
Yeah, it was fantastic. So yeah, just don't be closed-minded. Just there's a million ways you can match your macro needs and get everything you need. It's not really that big of a deal.
Yeah. And again, to hammer home, if you do have questions, just ask. Like, the best thing you can do for that stuff is to not go to Google, is to go to people that you do respect or that you do know have like more weight and more clout in this arena, and ask them. Like, that's the best thing you can do.
Clout. I like that word.
I know. Remember that was one of Man's original supplements. I think there was a pre-workout, Man Clout by Man. I was like, ooh, that
I
sounds
remember
tough.
Man Sports.
Yep, Man Sports. You got it. Yeah,
Wow.
You used to really like that brand. I don't even know what happened to them. Oh well.
No, they're still around. I still see them around. I don't know if they do much, but I see them.
Yeah, I think after Clout, they're like, well, damn, we can't come up with a cooler name than that. We may as well just stop.
That's it. We peak.
Yeah. Man, that was good. I think that's good.
Yep, we will. I guess we'll kind of see how things develop in the next.
Well, yeah. If anything, too, Austin, I think what would be really good is if we did a Q&A for next week. Now that we will put this out here, I could probably do it tomorrow at the latest, and then we'll say, hey, like a Q&A can be kind of all week. We won't necessarily put up just for the one day that we classically do, to say, hey, we're gathering questions about anything that's going on with the world. Won't necessarily just call it the virus, but we'll call it whatever, and we'll go from there, especially if there are, exactly, the virus. And to see if there's more frequently reoccurring questions that we haven't gone over or anything like that, and then we'll bang that out.
We'll call it the just to piss people off, since everyone's freaking out about it. Well, yeah, people are getting pissed off about people calling it the China virus. They said it's the Chinese virus. They said it's racist. I'm like, come on.
Yep. Well, I know. I saw a post from that this morning, and
that's really what you're concerned about right now.
Oh my God. Yeah. Well, and that's just it. You wait. You get the people stuck in the basements with the tinfoil hats on, whatever. Not saying anyone that's calling it the China virus or the people that are against that right now are those people. However, I'm saying if those people that do exist are going to be the ones getting more angry, getting more pissed off, especially because if you do go stir crazy, you will start getting concerned about shit you've never dreamed about being concerned about. Like, I might care that Major League Baseball isn't playing anymore, and I hate baseball. Like, I was just as an example. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, people are stuck at home and nothing's on TV.
I'm just starting to reread all my Punisher Max comics. I'm actually pumped about it. So this is going to be good.
Marty will come back with a whole new skill set next week.
You got it. Exactly.
All right. That's good for today.
You got it. All right. Then everybody, thank you for listening again to myself and Austin, and we'll catch you next time on the Mind Body Broadcast.